All right, let's dive right back into the Digimon Liberator comic. So picking up from where Chapter 0, Part 1 left off, there's this cool little detail, an Agumon mascot sitting on Arisa's desk. Now, the story kicks off with Owen, Shoto's favourite card game player, taking a big L against Zenith, who happens to be Arisa's crush. So this is where Shoto's journey into the Metaverse with his childhood friend begins. So what exactly is Digimon Liberator in the story? Well, it's a virtual reality card game, kind of like the next-gen Metaverse game. It follows the same rules as the card game. But here's the cool part. The battles unfold right before the player's eyes between the Digimon they've played. It's what they call a full dive virtual reality game, a nod to the theme song's chorus lyrics. The heart of all this action is in the Metaverse city known as Lacuna, which is both a city and an island. Now, how do you get in on the action? It's through the tail, short for translation, another life engine, which is a Metaverse pod. These pods are up and running at amusement facilities all over the world. Now, onto the D-Storage, the all-purpose device. It gets activated by scanning a Digimon card with it. Once activated, you can summon your registered Digimon from the D-Storage library. In Shoto's case, that's Muchomon. It's not just for show, though. During a battle, you tap its button to transmit signals and give commands to your Digimon. So there's this scene in the comic where our main guy, Shoto, hops into this pod to zip off to the Metaverse. It's a total nod to Hacker's Memory, complete with the same visor device and a similar setup. And then, bam, classic fall into the digital world moment. It's like straight out of the playbook. Now, what's really cool is how they dive into real TCG cards within the comic. Like, you can spot every detail of Terramon's card. Sure, it's obvious they'd showcase these cards since the webcomic's basically a promo for the TCG, but it's still a blast to see how they kick things off by breaking down the card game rules right in the comic. It's all about reeling in the fans, getting them hyped to dive into the card game scene, snag those cards, and maybe even nab some merch, just like they did with the Seekers novel, using it as a slick promo for the Vital Bracelet. So the first Digimon that welcomes Shoto into the cyberspace is this level 3 Junkmon tagging along with Arisa. But soon enough, Junkmon and Muchomon, Shoto's partner, will take a backseat to Shumon and Terramon, Wild Digimon, as they call the Digimon that are not turned into cards. And here's a neat little detail. When Shoto steps in front of Arisa, trying to shield her, he ends up taking a solid hit to the face from Shumon, who claims to be on the run and being chased. Then, in this training battle between Arisa and Shoto, Arisa's Junkmon pulls off this epic Digivolve into Tobacatmon and activates its jamming effect, just like the one on its card. It's like, boom, straight out of the card and into the action. So these Tesla robot-like NPCs are not the average types, but the battle types. They're acting all funky, initiating battles in places where they shouldn't be. It's like they're on some weird autopilot mode or something, but these battles are actually designed to throw players into unexpected situations and challenge them to think on their feet. Take Shoto, for example. He's forced into a battle and his cards all go blank out of the blue. During the battle, there's this moment where a pop-up shows up asking Shoto if he wants to throw in the towel, yes or no. It gave me major flashbacks to Apply Monsters, like that pivotal moment when the protagonist was asked if he wanted to step up and become the hero of the story or not. Then in the heat of this forced battle, just when things are looking grim, who swoops in to save the day? None other than Terramon, coming in clutch like a true hero. And the way it enters the scene totally gave me vibes of Digimon Seekers, Lugamon. They both have this air of authority about them, claiming control over a specific area, in this case the island. It's kind of like that bossy attitude we saw with Shoutman at the start of Cross Wars. Well, this is off to a great start, guys. We're definitely curious about all this punk and anarchy stuff they're hinting at. I mean, you can clearly spot the anarchy symbol on the champion form's chest. Remember how the creators originally envisioned Bielsmon as the dark hero of Tamers, with Impmon as the protagonist? Then Konaka came in and insisted on an Agumon-like Digimon, leading to Guilmon taking the spotlight. Looks like now they're trying to make up for sidelining Impmon from its original main role. The Digimon Liberator comic is now on Global Comics, so you won't have to deal with those annoyingly long loading times from the official website caused by all the traffic. Besides being available on the Digimon Liberator website and Global Comics, Digimon Liberator can now also be found on Webtoon. According to the schedule provided by the US Digimon card game account, fresh chapters are set to drop every 2 weeks on Thursdays directly on the Liberator site. Following this, the chapters will be released the following day, Fridays, on both Global Comics and Webtoon. The playmat featuring Sendromon and Zephagamon is now available for download by answering the usual survey. The link is in the description. Also, on the release day of the Liberator starter decks, they have uploaded the promotional poster. Let's analyze the new addition to Digimon New Century, Diaboromon X. This time it's reviewed by the user Ironman1986 from Bilibili, who tested this Digimon in the closed beta using their Dark team, which is now their new favourite. Its normal skill doesn't involve the special mechanism, but continues the Dark team's characteristic of inflicting Dark Erosion on the opponent while reducing their attack. Its ultimate skill reverses buffs to debuffs. Before casting the skill, it reverses buffs, prioritizing complete resistance status, preparing for the degeneration effect of the next round's signature move, and also providing space for subsequent control type Digimon. Petrification can effectively control most characters, as there are many characters with immunity to paralysis recently. The highlight of this Digimon lies in its signature move mechanism. Demon's Eye has a strong aura debuff effect on the enemy and weakens the opponent's resistance to control skills. Digitarma transformation is comparable to permanent exile and can be used in dungeons, which may have unexpected effects in the future. Fear could become a nightmare for opponents. Demon's Eye doesn't disappear when this Digimon dies, and Digitarma remains in this state even after being revived, as well as when Diaboromon X dies. There is no limit to the number of Digimon that can be transformed into Digitarma. Regarding immunity to Digitarma transformation, since this is a strong control skill, Digimon like Gabumon BF, Mastermon, Erlangmon, Goldramon X, and Gallantmon X meet the conditions for immunity to Digitarma transformation. Since it's a control skill, it can be dispelled by Digimon, like Metal Garurumon X, Cherubimon, Evil X, and Kazuhamon MM, turning them back into their original Digimon form. Multiple resurrections are stronger than Megadramon X because they do not consume resources, effectively acting as a super powerful survival mechanism. Granting invisibility to teammates can also counter many high-speed special effect characters, such as Takutamon's Isolation. Now let's dive into the adjustments made to this Digimon. The team added the Digitarma transformation ability and further optimized its performance in actual combat. Firstly, they noticed that when it faces enemies with complete resistance status, its control effect is limited. Therefore, they adjusted the reverse buff effect in its ultimate skill, allowing it to demonstrate strong control abilities early in the battle, unaffected by the enemy's resistance status. Secondly, considering that it is vulnerable to multiple attacks, they comprehensively upgraded its survivability. Now, it can resurrect multiple times in battle, greatly enhancing its endurance on the battlefield. They also adjusted the trigger mechanism of the Demon's Eye effect to remain active even after it is defeated, without being removed upon death. The Digimon New Century Encyclopedia has been updated with silhouettes of Quartzmon, the main antagonist from Digimon Cross Wars Hunters, and Blastmon, one of the 3 head officers of the Bagra army in Digimon Cross Wars. This game boldly introduces Digimon with models that haven't been seen before or have been rarely featured in other Digimon games. In my opinion, many Digimon from the incredible Cross Wars season are still missing, and it would be fantastic if they added recent Digimon from Ghost Game, Seekers, or Liberator. As we've seen, the game creators have demonstrated their daring and innovative spirit by not only incorporating new Digimon, but also creating their own unique Digimon.